Hello there. I was, good evening. I was able to I fix my network compared to what I had last night. Um, so we're back to having the intro. Hello, Wiley Sight, and good evening, Dark Shades. Yeah, it was, yeah, I had to dust off some old networking knowledge to try to get everything working, but I'm back with oh, and hello, Mark Young. I'm back to having the intro, so I'll should have the outro. There's one my button Steam Stream Deck isn't fully working. But the good news is the biggest thing, and the reason I did all this was to get the network in better shape, and it still is in better shape. So that's a good thing. uh, Yesterday I was running my two Seestars with one copy of the Seestar ALP software, and I kept having to restart it because I was trying to fix some changes I had made locally. And to try to minimize that tonight, I'm actually running two copies of the software, one pointing at each telescope. So at least one of them should remain stable tonight, and while I try to fix some lingering issues with the other copy. It's not going to be as long of a live stream because it's Sunday evening, and I have to get up at a somewhat sensible hour tomorrow. But yeah, and then I won't have a live stream for a few days. It was looking initially like I might have been able to have one tomorrow night, but just the last time I checked, it looks like the conditions are deteriorating here. There's going to be some rain, maybe a tropical depression off the coast. So, um, yeah. So let me get again, because my buttons aren't my Stream Deck buttons aren't working. I have to trigger it through the computer. So yeah, here's the two copies, and you can see one of them slightly different than the other. This is the kind of the version that's um, kind of the default version. Um, the version that's checked into the repo, and then this is my local development copy. And just to do the initial calibration, I pointed both of them at different stars. It turned out, I believe this one went to Vega and this one went to Altair, just to try to do initial horizontal calibration and the initial startup. And here we are. One thing I noticed yesterday that kept confusing me is like one of the telescopes I think was on the wrong side, and I believe it was because I had set the camera rotated 180 degrees from where I normally have it. I mean, because it's pointing basically straight up almost. There's not like an up or down. And it was throwing me all night. I was like, wait, that's not the telescope. Like the one is to that direction. Why is it? I thought it was like mirror reverse. I'm like, oh, I just hit rotate it. Anyway, so um, last night I was I imaged Pluto, which I will probably do, but I don't think it's visible quite yet. So I need to bring up Stellarium just to double check. And then what I'm going to do is basically I'm going to get start the telescope to the right, pointing at some things, and then I'm going to kind of start. I'll point the one on the left at some things, but I want to I might stop and restart it a few times because I'm trying to fix some things having to do with a live view, and I can do the daytime settings, but the nighttime ones are a little bit problematic to do during the day. Let's see. Where do I... Yeah, because Pluto isn't quite visible yet. And it won't be visible for... Won't be visible for... not quite an hour. Maybe half an hour? No. Yeah, it won't be till 10 that it'll be visible. So in the meantime... Oh, that was the thing. There was a Messier object that I had not yet imaged. So let me go look at my list from yesterday. Let me see, lives. Okay. Let's see. Veil Nebula, Deer Lake Group. Maybe I'll do the Pac-Man Nebula too. Or instead tonight. Maybe I'll have to think about that. So Pluto might do M33. I ended up getting a full hour of data on that yesterday, so I might not do that tonight. But okay, M55. That was a target that by the time I realized I hadn't imaged that yet, it was already too late. So let's go back. Let me fix the time. And Messier 57. Let me make note of that. Let me see. M57 and Saturn. Yeah, let's do Saturn too. Let me make note of that. Yeah, M55 is the one that I missed yesterday. So I'm gonna start with that if it's... Oh wow. It is still not quite visible, but wow. Yeah, it'll be actually just before Pluto. I can try M55. But let me see, what are these other ones? There was M39, and barring that, yeah, M39 is visible. But, oh wait, time. Yeah, M39 is visible, but Saturn, the problem is sometimes I miss hit the function keys because I have to do a function. I have to use the function. There's a function key, an FN key on my Mac keyboard, and you can set it where the function keys either do function key function. They either trigger a function key or they do like the media keys, and I have it actually set to that. So I have to press this FN key and then the function key to get the functionality. and so I end up like, yeah, messing it up. Let's see. Saturn. Let's start with Saturn. Now the one, whoa, Saturn's not quite visible. It will be around 11. So let me make note of that. And that, again, this is because I have a building in the way. So I will do that. And M39 is now. M55 is after 10 p.m. And also I could do NGC 281. Summer Rose Star. Which one is that one? Oh, wait. Again. Oh, close. It's very close. Yeah. Oh wow, that's going to be so low. I'm not even sure if I'll be able to get that. But which one is this one? This is M54. I wonder if I've actually um hello Red. How are you doing? Thanks for joining. Oh man. Um M54. I'm trying to see if I've ever actually gotten M54 before. Let me um let's see. I've reconfigured my network, so this is actually, yeah, I can't. Well, I'll try it. I'll try M54 in case I haven't been able to image it before. So let's see, which one do I want to try to do it in? So I'm going to just start with M54 because if I can image M54, I'll be able to image that summer rose star, and I'll do it with with the stock one, or do I? Maybe I'll do it with this one. So yeah, it's pointing at Altair, so I'm going to clear that. I'm going to go image M54. Did I say M54? M54. And then I need to move my laptop because it was kind of blocking the time. I mean the screen. Do my standard 10 minutes. No light pollution filter. Go start. Okay. And where's, let me see. So water pot bearer. I'm sure that goes by a different name. When is that? Oh, Aquarius. Aquarius. Of course. Yeah, the water carrier or cup carrier. But I don't know where Aquarius. Let me see where Aquarius is these days. The Age of Aquarius. Now that song will be going through my head. Aquarius. Nope. I mean, it's Aquarius will be. It'll be rising later. Actually, so let me look over here. So M54, M70. That's another one. Have I gotten M70 before? M69. I feel like I'm. Actually, maybe I'll try that. I'll try several of these. Oh, and Ceres is there. The asteroid. M69. M69. M70. Of course, it'll all be moot if I can't get M54. If M54 is too low, then I won't be able to get any of those. So that's, and then what was the next one? The summer rose star is M55. Right. Okay, that's, yeah, I had made a note that that's closer to when Pluto shows up. And M28, that's another one. M28 I might be able to get. Which one is that one? M22. I feel like I should have gotten a bunch of these. Oh, Saturn Planetary Nebula, NGC 7009. let me make note of that one. Yeah, because I'm trying to, I just realized I'm like racing the clock now because I don't even, I want to try to pick up some of these objects here, and I'm not sure if I can even see them. Oh, drat. Discharging. That's not good. That means I didn't turn on the, that's fine. It won't completely discharge because I don't have the dew heater on. Let me live view. Okay. Is this one of those things where it thinks it's still imaging? It's in like a go-to loop. I hope not. But that's promising. So let me check. Let me look at the one that's kind of the most leading one here, M28. Let me see if I can get M28. Yeah, that's an NGC, so we don't care. No, eventually I'll get it, but so I want to do M28. I feel like I surely have imaged some of these, but maybe not. Continuous exposure. I wonder if it failed on. Let me look at. Did it fail on auto? On auto go to? Yeah, it says stopped. Yeah, go to failed. But this looks like it actually went to the target. So I'm going to take a shortcut here. One thing I haven't implemented yet is the ability to trigger an imaging session from the live view, and I need to do that. But in the meantime, I'm going to just trigger this manually. Okay. Oh, horizontal calibration succeeded and applied. Interesting. Well, that's good. That's so weird. Huh. Okay. Okay, so this is stacking, but unfortunately it's in preview mode, but that's fine. So this is this is, what is it? M28. Cool. So we've got M28 done. M54 is in progress. And then next will be M69, because I'm doing M54. And it looks like I'm able to get M28. Like this boundary isn't necessarily 100% accurate, so I wasn't sure if I'd be able to actually even start this one, but the good news is it appears to be working. This is M28 here. And then this is M54. That's a small one, but that's fine. That's fine. So I'm going to quit this one. Now it's not showing me, whoa, what just happened there? That's interesting. I mean, it is pretty windy outside right now, but I wouldn't think, yeah, that's very strange. Let me look at the live view, see what's going on here. Yeah, weird. Yeah, dropped a frame because it's very strange. Anyway, so this is trying to figure it out. That's fine. I managed to get something, which is better than nothing. So now this one is proceeding. So let me see. NGC 7009 is tiny. Let me make a note here that I try. And where was M22? I feel like I'm suddenly missing a bunch of Messier objects, but maybe I did image them, but that's fine. I can always. Okay. Oh, M22. Yeah, I need to do that one next. So M22 will be the next one. All right. NGC 7009. And of course it's obstructed. It's the story of my life here. So I've got the network resolved. Now I just need to figure out how to work around all of my obstruction issues. Okay, so it looks like at some point after maybe 10-ish. So I'll make note of that. Okay. All right. So that is proceeding. Yeah, right now I'm focused on trying to get a few of these Messier objects at the beginning, and then sometime probably in the next half hour or so, once I start imaging Pluto, I'll start working on this one on the left to try to work on some of the missing functionality that has been kind of bugging me. Yeah, it's interesting seeing the rejection rate on the two. Let's see. This one is, let's see, the balance sensor. Yeah, this one's way out of balance too. I mean, the horizontal calibration, yeah, about they're similar. The horizontal calibration should fix that, but it is interesting to see like one doing a lot better than the other. Okay, so these are going okay. Trying to think if I want to let it go the whole 10 minutes. Yeah, I'll let it go the whole 10 minutes. Yeah, I mean the good thing is since this is a preview, it's not the stack. There's no obstructions yet, so at least there's that. Yeah. Yeah, so progress. Yeah, I think this will be good. I think I've got a few good targets to go through the next couple hours. But what I need to do, maybe I'll start looking at this version, since this is going to be running for a while. And actually, is the schedule even running? Yeah, the schedule's not even running, so I'm going to have to stop it manually anyway. So it's in star mode. Now, the stack isn't. So this is the left one, and then this one's the right one. So like this is the other instance. So the dev version is the one I'm going to be messing around with tonight. So I'm going to just stop that and restart it. Now the autofocus stuff is working. Being able to trigger the autofocus from here is working. But none of the other stuff is working. But really, that's not even the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that it won't switch between stacking and non-stacking modes. So, and then whatever that squashed thing is. Okay, so this is the stacked version. You can tell based on the really obnoxious gradient. Now, one of the kind of dilemmas I have is right now, when you click these buttons, it will make changes to the telescope. It'll give it the telescope command saying, okay, you're in star mode or sun mode or lunar or planet or scenery mode. Now it won't go to the target. So if I click on sun, it switches it into kind of the sun live streaming, but it doesn't actually go to the sun. Like if you're already pointed at it, it's fine. But if you're not, it doesn't do that and it doesn't move. So I do want to change it to add that functionality. Now in the case of star mode, where it's you're either in kind of the continuous exposure preview mode, or it's taking an exposure, it's stacking the images, which is the mode it's in right now. Actually, both of them are in that mode right now. Stage is stack, but the problem is it won't sorry, my brain. It's stacking, but it won't. Like if you started it, if you were in preview mode, continuous exposure mode, and then the telescope, like a schedule, kicks off and it starts stacking, it'll still show you the kind of streamed view. Oh, this one stopped on its own, so that's good. So now I need to go quickly to M22. Okay. I don't know if I'll do a full 600. Maybe I'll do 450. Not a huge difference, but because time is short. Yeah, so in addition, yeah, show the name of the object being imaged. Yeah, let me see something here. Let me bring up the, let me stop that. And then so I have, so here is the live view. Let me close the script because I don't want to look at the JavaScript right this moment. Wait, okay, yeah. And then this is where it shows the controls. And actually that status comes from a thing called live status. So now one of the things I look at is these are the Now see actually it is there, the view name, it does have the target name. State, mode star, target name. So let me see. State, mode, stage. Maybe it's only if... No, it's not going to be stats. So, actually, I need to put this up higher because... Oops. Okay. Live, which file is it? It's in the front end. Okay. Status. And I thought I had it at one point. I also had some other things. Some other notes I'd made. Actually, get view state. This isn't. Is this get view state? Sorry, let me look at the stock one. Because it's... Okay, so this is figuring it out. Still going to the target. So view state, target name. So it's under view state, target, name equals view.get. So let's see. I need to make this better. Oh, it is already. What? View.get stack? Oh, right. Wait. Oh. Interesting. Annotation plate solved. Stack. Exposure. Oh, so there's two different target names because there could be a target name inside it. Let me look at that. Okay, so this is imaging. This is good. So that's M22. So that's making progress. And I'm going to stop this one. Actually, what I'm going to do... Man, this is having issues. M22 is in progress. And I will try M69. So I'm going to stop this. And go to... After it stops. Okay. I'm going to go quickly. M69. And I'll do that 450, submit, start, live. Okay. Man, it is having some major tracking issues. That's fine. It got one frame at least. So if I go look at this, so it's got a target name already. That is interesting. What's weird is like I extract it from inside the stack over here, but this doesn't have... Oh, get view state? Is it not doing get view state here? No, it's getting view state. See, it's like sometimes it returns a slightly different payload, so it looks like target name is there. So I'll just go with that. Um, actually, so we can do you go. So, or, okay. So I can do, I just wanted to make sure it behaves the way I expected it to. So I can go target name or that, and maybe that'll work. No, is this one actually going? It's still doing auto go to, so I'm gonna wait. Oh, it already picked up the target name, but the code hasn't been updated, so it's blank at the moment. So yeah, but the thing is there's like an inner structure that sometimes also has the target name in it, I think. But yeah, the top level one is what I'm gonna start with. So let me see. It's plate solving. Plate solving failed, of course. No, I'll wait. I'll wait a little longer for that. Um, unless it's already too low. Wouldn't think so, because this one's getting imaged. Or maybe it is too low. Right. Right. Okay, that makes sense. Um, Plates all failed again. I might actually what I need to do I still have the app open? Yeah, Cygnus Loop, which is the name of the panel. Okay, see, it looks like the image, it looks like it's there, but it's in this kind of imaging loop. I mean, go-to loop. And what in the world happened here? Yikes. That is impressive. That is very impressive. Like, whatever this is doing over here, it is dropping a lot of frames. Um, wow. Yeah, yeah, it's at least this weekend the moon's hasn't been a huge problem, and it does set relatively early. Okay. So for whatever reason, see, this is where I need to have the manual record button. So I'm just gonna force it. Like what in the world is going on there? Actually, I just got an alert. Um, actually, unfortunately, let me see. Um, let's see. How do you turn on satellites? I don't know. It was stars I had turned off. That's why it looked weird. Um, hold on. I always shut this off, but um, okay. Is it on? Okay, it's on. Let me see. No. Where is that? Oh, it's this one. Hmm. Maybe my catalog isn't fully up to date. Let me see. Yeah, sorry. I had gotten an alert saying that the International Space Station was going to fly over. But let me see. Where is it? I have astronomy software on my phone. Just trying to get an idea of where it might be in the sky. That's random. Let me look that up. Maybe the yeah, no, I think that alert was wrong because this is claiming it's below the horizon. So I don't know what that alert was about. Yeah, make the record button more logical. Yeah, I mean that's one thing I want to I want to make it very obvious what it's doing. And that was part of the reason why I ended up putting it to the side. And right now it just says record, but I wanted I want to make it kind of reflect the current mode correctly and what the action it's going to perform. Yeah. Yeah, second that. Make it green. Yeah, I mean, I picked kind of that thing, and I definitely want to change color to, yeah, green with go or camera or anything. Yeah, yeah, it's not super intuitive. Um, Now, did this one finished? I presume. Yeah, it finished because it was. And this one was M22. This is M69, I believe. Yeah, so I just need to do M70 and then I'll be done. Well, actually, yeah, then it'll be ready. I'll be ready to image M55 and Pluto. So let me quickly clear that image. M70 search, and I'll do submit, start, live view. Yeah, I definitely want to make it more obvious. I mean, yeah, there's two parts to it. I want to I need to make some changes so it's more responsive, but I also want to yeah, make it more obvious what's going on. So this is M69. So going back to this, the target name. So I'm going to restart this this version here. Yeah, and see, look. Okay, the target name and now the annotations are there. That's interesting artifact there. Yeah, okay. Exposure annotation. Drop frame. I'm just looking at the values before I start up the before I start it up again. Yeah. And I was running into all kinds of I was running into a bunch of issues last night, and like it was timing out and things were just going slow. I think I'm not 100% sure if this is what was happening, but it turns out I was running um actually I just thought of another problem and maybe why I'm running into an issue. Anyway, one of the problems might have been I had left a Raspberry Pi running, or my Raspberry Pi running the Seestar Alp software at the same time I was running it locally. And so I had both of them kind of like I had two instances hitting both telescopes. And that might have been causing some of my issues last night. Um, oh, it's because um, why isn't it giving me the target name? Um, oh, um, so where is it putting this? Stage mode. Problem is it is in stats. Yeah, actually this makes sense. Maybe, maybe not. Does it make sense? No, I think I'm going to do I'm gonna okay. Okay, so let me restart this version. So I definitely want to get the target name. What else do I want to fix tonight? I want to try to fix that. What in the world? I think that's an obstruction. It's amazing. See, it managed to stack 4 frames. Yeah, that's garbage. So I didn't quite get to M70, but that's okay. Okay, cool. Now target name's there. So let me change and change it to be if target name. So it's not even gonna for things where the target isn't set. Now hopefully it'll be set most times. Yeah, okay, cool. So now it's at the top. Great. This is junk, so I'm gonna stop this. So that's fixed. Target name is now there. So one thing I had thought of is if it's in stacking mode, if stage is stack, it would, yeah, I don't know how that's gonna, basically I want to, if the stage is stack, I want to give the ability to switch between stacking and preview mode, but I don't know if that's going to be if that's going to be too complicated from a user interface point of view. Let me think about that a little bit more while I get the other telescope going. I don't think Pluto's quite visible yet, so I'll actually wait. Oh, I could try M55. I'll try M55. Mosaic. Nope. Schedule. Clear. Image. M55. And 450. Schedule. Start. And then go to live view. So how would I want to do this? So I've got the buttons for switching modes. And then I have this record focus, which opens up this. This slider doesn't do anything yet. It will. And then exposure, I was thinking of doing the same thing where it ends up kind of opening slides open a few settings. Let me see. So for exposure, let's see. Live view. And so you can see it in the case of focus, it opens focus options and it uses this thing called the collapsible. And so I need to have basically this needs to be duplicated. There, and let's see, move this over. But basically my thought was so there would be exposure would be, I'll just call it auto. Actually, it would be, yeah, auto. And then, okay, so if I reload this, my thought was, so this opens up focus, but like exposure will have auto exposure and then it'll have like manual controls. So, and then manual controls. Oops. So yeah, so there'll be some kind of manual controls for the exposure there. Yeah, so hold on a second. Hold on a second. Sorry. Okay, this is M55, so that's going well. So that'll buy me a little bit of time before I start off on Pluto. And how much of an exposure did I do on Pluto yesterday? I think, well, I'll try like half an hour just to try to get enough time. Okay. Um, let's see. Hold on a second. Um, let's see. Okay, so let me see. All right. What in the world is this doing over here? Anyway, sorry, I got distracted with chaos in the house. Yeah, so that's what I want to do with this, but none of these are hooked up yet. So, but then how do I want to do the? I'm kind of talking through this while I'm. Man, look at this. This is pretty bad the way it just like suddenly. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to be able to switch between kind of the stacking mode and the and kind of the preview, which you can. The app doesn't let you do this. The app only will show you the stack. The ZWO Seestar app, the official app, will only show you the stack when you're stacking. But the preview actually is accessible. And so, like in the case of this right one, even though I'm stacking, it is kind of interesting because I can see it kind of doing whatever it's doing when it's rejecting frames sometimes. Um, so I do want to be able to toggle that. I just need to figure out the best way visually. What I might end up doing is just kind of implementing kind of a very rough solution and then refine it. Because at the very least, I want to be able to trigger kind of the switch between modes. Um, so let me collapse that, and it is, I think I want to put it under the status for now. And yeah, so I'll do it right here. All right, and then that, and that, and hold on. All right, and obviously this isn't what it's going to be doing. It's going to be preview, and actually this isn't. Yeah, okay. So the way it kind of lays out the screen, it does it in rows and columns, and sometimes you have a column within kind of a div, and in this case, the button itself is the column. So I'm going to do preview, and I'll call this stack. Okay. So just as an experiment, preview and stack. Okay, so this one finished. So maybe I'll go ahead and start this on Pluto. Let me see where Pluto would look, where it would be. And what's this? M75. So let me try Pluto. And actually, did I have the coordinates? I think I did. So let me go to the schedule. And actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart this this one on the right, just because there isn't a way to switch between modes. Just waiting for this to exit, and it's refusing to exit. Okay. Okay, so, all right, this one, and we will go, did I actually put this in a schedule? I did not. So I'm going to have to manually do that. Call this Pluto. And okay, dwarf planet. 20 hours, 9 minutes, 47.81 seconds, minus 23 degrees, 26 minutes, 03, 3.1 seconds, J2000. I'll do half an hour. And just double checking the coordinates. 0947. Actually, let me check something real quick here. I want to see if I had actually put those, if I'd saved it anywhere. No, that's fine. Okay, submit and start the schedule. All right, so that's running. Now, let's go back to this. This is running, and preview and stack. So right now it's showing the stack, but maybe I want to also switch to the preview. So what would I kind of want to call this? Actually, let me look at this. I just had what could have been an epiphany, but we shall see. Meanwhile, I'm checking to see if Pluto's, okay, it's still, it shouldn't take long to start imaging that because it was already kind of in the general vicinity. Yeah, I'm unfortunately I didn't, oh, good. It already says stack. Cool. So I'm going to let it stack for a bit, and then I'm going to go to the live view because because of this issue where it either shows in preview mode or live view, either preview or stack when you're stacking. And if I go to it before the first stack shows up, it'll show me preview mode, which I don't want. I want to see the stack as it accumulates. So I'm going to focus on this code here. Actually, it's the imaging one. So what's interesting is, well, not interesting, but it's the exposure mode is whether it says stack or preview. So what I need to do is create something that sets the exposure mode. That's theoretically all I need to do. Stuff in the road for the stack preview buttons. In the road? And by the way, hi Seiko. How's it going? Long time. So what I want to do, so let me go back to this, the button, and I'll do this as a post live exposure mode, and I will do this as oops. I will do hx swap equals none, and I will do hx vals equals this just going to define exposure. Exposure, it helps if I mode will be stack. And HX swap none. Oops. I'm using a slightly different key binding than what I've historically used, so I'm that's why I'm kind of, plus I've got my head turned here, which I normally don't. At some point I'm going to redo, I want to redo kind of this, I want to redo this space where I do my streams, because I have a desk right over there, but the desk isn't really suitable for the streaming, so I'll probably replace this table for most of my streams with a different table slash desk. And it'll also help because the problem is the chair that I'm sitting in right now, and I am sitting in a chair, isn't super comfortable for 5 or 6 hour live streams where I'm not getting up. So I need to come up with something else. So if you figure out another thing, if you click none on the live view, it kills your stack. Yeah, that's actually a feature. It's not a good feature, but it's a feature I personally use all the time to kill the stack. But yeah, I think, and I've been thinking about that too, like so if you go, let me go to the live view. So you notice it briefly showed the controls, and I hide it if it's stacking, because that's like a safety problem. You can start moving the telescope while it's stacking and just totally mess it up. But I was actually thinking about this other problem here recently, that like it's all well and good that I show that, oh, you can switch between solar and scenery and planet and star mode and none. But the reality is people aren't going to be doing that day to day. And so it is like an accident waiting to happen. So I was thinking of so this thing that I'm working on here is kind of a very rough prototype of just trying to get all the buttons I want in place and then work on the actual functionality. I mean, I'm not going to spend a ton of time on it. I just want to get it to a point where it's not totally wrong, and then refine it. But one of the big things is, yeah, the fact that if I press none or I press one of these other buttons, like that's not a desirable outcome. So I kind of I started thinking I need to start hiding these buttons. So yeah. Okay. Yeah, just finish work. Oh, let me before I keep sidetracking myself, I want to actually see where Pluto is right now. So we were looking at it yesterday, and let me pause time, and let me turn off satellites again. Pause time. And so we've got, let me zoom out a bit here. Okay, so here's this triangle. And if I recall correctly, Pluto was over here yesterday. And yeah, sure enough, it's here now. Like it was over here yesterday, now it's here. So it has moved a little bit. Unfortunately, I won't be able to image it again tomorrow night. But my goal was to actually, ideally what I want to do is image it like a few nights in a row. Like ideally at least 3, but hopefully a few more than 3, because I want to do a little animation of Pluto kind of moving. I don't know. It's just kind of for fun, for funsies. Um, it was with a selected panel option. Yeah. Oh, did you actually break? Did you actually stop the mosaic tonight? If so, sorry. Um, because I don't know if Wiley Sight mentioned on stream, but he kicked off a Cygnus loop uh, mosaic, 18 panel mosaic for the next running until like 5 in the morning. So like 8-9 hours. So hopefully that wasn't the mosaic you accidentally stopped. Sorry if that was the case. Is this actually still accumulating panels? Because I might have to end up, if this is just failing out, I may need to stop this and move elsewhere. Okay. 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 Yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah, this is failing out. I think this is already kind of blocked. So see, I actually take advantage of the none feature to stop the stack. Yeah, so that is done. Now what I need to do, or what I want to do, I want to point this at another target just so it can start stacking and I can kind of work on it while it's stacking. Maybe, yeah. We're going to make something to make below the horizon safe. And for those who don't know, the when you're using the Seestar in equatorial mode to get things that are kind of below the celestial equator, which is a lot of things that you might have up in the sky, you have to basically tell the Seestar to work below the horizon. And so yeah, that's kind of cool. Make it more safe, because the problem is if it's below the horizon and then you tell it to stow itself, it like could kind of overcorrect and grind some gears or something. Okay, so we've got this going. We don't have this going. So do I want to do NGC 7009? Because I've got some time before Saturn's visible for me. Yeah, so I'll do NGC 7009. Just to have it imaging something. And that is so it automatically checked to use light pollution filter. And I'll do half an hour. And start, and now it should be running. And actually, I'll go to the live view, even though yeah. So now what I need to do is figure out how I want to do this. So I've got the buttons between preview and stack. I did warn, hopefully it was apparent in the description, that I would do some live coding. But while I'm observing and coding. So let's see. So I've got exposure mode, stack, and preview. So I want to change this to preview. Yeah. Can you make it so that none has stop as well? Then if it's on the star, the only one you can click is none. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I want to kind of do something like that. I was actually thinking, I ended up using the software yesterday to do some images of the sun during the day, and it doesn't when you pick sun, it switches it into solar mode, but it doesn't actually go tell the telescope to go to the sun. And I started looking at that, and I know what command to send, but then I thought I need to add kind of a dialogue like the app does, because I don't want the telescope. I don't want somebody to click that and it just goes to the sun automatically, without prompting them like, "Do you have the solar filter on?" Because that could be problematic if they don't. Um, so yeah, that's something. So there's more. There's a lot more logic I want to add into those buttons. Uh, Both being able to send it to a specific target, but then also doing some kind of something that makes more sense contextually. So like you're saying, yeah, that yeah, because you're not going to be bouncing between all those different modes in practice. So if there's nothing going on, let me think about this. So if there's well, let me see. Yeah. Let me see. So for below horizon, you need to make sure the declination offset is 0, then you run sync and then issue a shutdown. Right. So you basically have to undo the declination offset. So yeah. So a custom command that replaces the use of pi shutdown. Yeah. So as far as this goes, I was thinking if you come in, if you start up live view and there's nothing going on, it'll show idle, and then maybe it'll show all of these buttons. And then once you pick one of them, well, you pick sun mode, say, and it'll prompt you, do you want to do this? Or do you have the solar filter on? And if you say yes, it'll go ahead and move to the sun. But then it should hide these other buttons. And then likewise, if I pick, and then it would have, instead of none, maybe a stop button. Yeah, which I think is what, yeah, I think that's what Seiko was kind of suggesting. And then same thing with moon and planet. Now planet mode's kind of problematic because it doesn't, like sun and moon are predefined. Like you click that and it goes to the sun. But for a planet, we have to add the ability to say like which planet. Man, this is really this is why it's actually kind of interesting being able to see the preview mode, because you can see it kind of doing weird things while it's should be stacking. But yeah, so planet scenery mode is, yeah, should hide all the other options. And maybe star mode, maybe when it goes to star mode, yeah, maybe that's what happens. Maybe this preview and stack would show up, but then that's kind of misleading. I need to think about that, because these are more visual things, whereas these are also somewhat visual, but then this record is actually an action. So I need to think about the best way to kind of make that in more intuitive, I guess. Right. Hitting star while stacking also stops imaging. Yeah, so I think I need to change this. Instead of having all these buttons visible all the time, it will it'll show them only if you're doing nothing. It'll only show you all the buttons only if you're doing nothing. If it's like idle, then it'll show you all the buttons, and then once you push them, it'll switch to that specific mode, and it'll stay in that mode until you stop it, or something like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think, yeah, that'll be a future project. Okay, the Pluto thing's coming along well. Yeah, and this, Yeah, I think I should shoot for a half an hour exposure, half an hour sessions. So let me go back to here. So I'm going to set exposure mode, although this is kind of redundant. But then again, I have the same thing here where the URL has live mode, but then it has mode in the payload. So that's fine. I'll just deal with that. Front. Oh, and yeah, Seiko, if there's been further, nothing has been done, but I did watch the video about SNR last night, or this morning, today, from Dylan, Astro Dylan, and yeah, I think there's Wiley Sight and I were talking about it earlier. Let me see. Sorry, I'm talking and coding is not going well. Okay. Okay, and then this is exposure, live exposure mode resource, and then live mode. Okay, so live exposure mode. I don't need the delete. And then, so at the very least, this should actually work. And I can go print changing mode to mode. And so if I go, oh, that's silly. I was like, oh man, these stars are so oblong, but no, this is, of course, this is the oblongness is because it's the Saturn planetary nebula or whatever, NGC 7009. Yeah, it's a Saturn nebula. Yeah, it's tiny. Of course, it looks. My exposure doesn't quite look like that, but that's cool. Of course, it's. I mean, Wiley Sight did say it's tiny, but you can tell it is oblong. So let me stop and restart this. Make sure I'm on the right telescope, the right Seestar controller, and done. And now it's running. Coming back up. And so I should be able to click that. Changing mode to preview. Changing mode to stack. Cool. So the buttons do something. I mean, they're working as I expect them to. So maybe this actually, well, I'm not going to jinx myself. I was going to be like, well, maybe this isn't that hard, but it's never. Things are never that hard. Of course, because, yeah. Because this is the front end, and does it have access to the does it actually have access to the piece, the component that actually can control the that has access to the imaging system? So this is actually telescope. Get Seestar device. Okay, so I'm not actually doing this yet, but I'm about to, so. Copy, oops. Okay, telescope position. Okay, cool. So I want to go to, what was it? Exposure mode. Okay. And, okay. This will actually, let's actually get Seestar Imager. Okay, so I've got the imager, and then I'll go dev.set exposure mode to mode, which I don't actually have that thing yet, so I need to write that. And let me move this over so we can, for those who don't want to watch the code, they can watch Pluto imaging more. I think it's this one. I think it's that dot there, which actually does remind me another thing I want to do. I'm not going to do it tonight, but I do want to add annotations at some point. That one doesn't have annotations. Does this one have annotations? Yeah, this doesn't have annotations either. Sometimes it has annotations. Like earlier, some of those M1s had annotations. So set exposure mode, imaging. Let's see. Set exposure mode. So I'll just go set exposure mode, self, and then exposure mode. And actually, where does start get called? Yeah, okay. I could just purely, yeah, I'm just going to grab this code. It might actually be just that easy. One can always hope. Of course, it's not going to be that easy. So basically, if the exposure mode changes, we want to restart. Now the question is, will it do the right thing if I'm switching from stack to preview? So is gazing will keep the same. So the problem is if you're in, well, let's just see. It may not work, but sometimes the easiest thing rather than trying to reason about it is just to do it. Just do it. Like Nike, just do it. Okay. All right. So since it's already stacking, it should come up in stacking mode. And yeah, this oblong initial image is kind of annoying. So it's in stacking mode. So if I hit preview, let's see what happens. Okay. Disconnected. It's still getting a stack. It just got another stack. It's still getting stacks. So it didn't change the way I expected it to. So why is that? Let me see. So it changes. This thing is going to be ending soon of the Pluto image. So I will move on to, so NGC 7009 is on the left side under the code editor. On the right is Pluto. And no Goofy. Let me see. I could do M39. I might do M39. It's like on the other side of the sky, but I'll do M39 because Saturn's not going to be visible for another 20 minutes or more. All right. So what that code did is it sets the exposure mode. And let me just double check. It's star mode. Okay, preview or stack. Is it actually changing it to this? It is setting it to preview or stack. Okay, so we know that's good. So what will happen is it runs start. Things should still be running and receive. I mean, I could stop it and resume it. Let me do that. Let me just, as a stop gap, stop it and then resume it. And we'll see if that works. Okay, so it's starting up, it's loading. It should start up in stacked mode, and then I'll click preview to see if it switches. Because if it does, then that means all the functionality is working, and I just need to set it up where it isn't even showing these two buttons unless you're in stack mode. And also I need to make them more clear what it's doing, or like make the labels better. Again, I want to make it more obvious what it's doing. And the good thing is, since I'm not purely targeting like a mobile app, I'm trying to give it a little bit more room and add, well, and it's not just me, like others who've worked on it, like all these, what is it, the settings, where like there's a lot of more descriptive text about what it's doing, which is really nice. Okay, so this is running. So let me switch preview. Let's see what happens. It should stop the imaging. Why did that go loading? Should disconnect. Oh, it was just a coincidence because it hit that 30-minute mark, the one on the right. I was like, what? I pushed this thing and it changed the other thing. Like, that makes no sense. But this also doesn't make sense because it's still showing the stacked view. Unless, oh, you know what? So there was code in here that I basically changed where it, if I go look for stack, okay, is star mode. No, send star subscription. Oh, actually, oops. I thought that's weird. So it should, I could do this, it's not exactly right, but Um, why isn't it just trying to figure out without continuously stopping and restarting the program why it is doing what it's doing? Now, since Pluto is done, I'm going to go ahead and M39. I'll just get that going. All right. I'll do that for 15 minutes. Or maybe I'll do 20 minutes. Why not? And then start. Okay. So why isn't, so let me go back to this and let me hit, so it is loading the stacked image. And if I hit preview, oh, what in the world? Changing from stack to preview. Is it called preview? That would be embarrassing if that wasn't called, if it wasn't called preview. Well, not embarrassing, but that would be silly if I, nope, it's called preview. Okay. So it should have stopped. Okay, let me change this. Okay. The preview is actually, so that's the way the stack works. It just requests the current stack. The preview, on the other hand, it actually runs this command called, what was it? Oops, typing in the wrong window. It's called begin streaming. So it sends that command to the Seestar, and the Seestar just starts sending like raw frames one after another without you having to do anything. Yeah, so that kicks it off. So it errored. Okay, that is fine. Now it did disconnect, but did it cause the whole thing to crater? Yeah, I think it caused it to crater. So let me, I think another problem I'm running into is I don't think things are fully thread safe. Like mostly Python handles it internally. Like there's multiple pieces running within the software that are accessing some of the same data internally, and mostly it works, but I think the imaging may have added some extra situations where it's conflicting. It's very conflicted. Preview. Okay. Okay. So changing mode from stack to preview, accepting handling files not a zip. That's fine. That was a caught error. Then it reconnected. And why is it? And it went back to getting the stack. Why did it go back to getting the stack? Brought a Wi-Fi. And hello, Gannon. Thanks for joining. I brought a Wi-Fi adapter for my Celestron, and it's always pointing to Zenith. Oh, there were ads? Like, I don't know what. I'm sorry about that. I don't know why it's like, like sometimes YouTube tells me it's doing that, but did something change? It's very strange. Is this Cyril? No, this is this is the Seestar ALP software, and I'm actually working on the code to improve it. Um, but like it has uh, yeah, live view and some other things now. But yeah, this is just the Seestar ALP software. I'm just I'm showing one telescope live, and well, I'm showing both telescopes live, but I'm also like trying to fix the code because it's been so rainy here lately that I haven't had any chances, and we're having like a tropical depression approaching where I live, and it's supposed to rain the next few days again. Um, okay, cool. So the cluster is this open cluster is showing up, so that's good. Um, let's see why, because I go dot stop and it said it changed the subscription from stack to preview, but then when it started it, it went back to showing. It would be the receive message thread. It's very convoluted, some of this, but yeah, exactly. I get my microcent or whatever. Yeah, and I like I say it like YouTube will, like I have the YouTube console because that's where I read the chat, and it'll sometimes say, "Oh, we're about to run an ad," and I'm like, "Skip." And but it, like this happened last night too. It didn't tell me, and I thought it was because I was having the connectivity issues, like things got weird, but it's not actually telling me. So I don't know. I need to look at that. Something changed, and the problem is it's hard to test. It's like testing astronomy software. I can only do it while it's dark out. With YouTube, like some of the streaming stuff, I can test with a unlisted stream, but that doesn't do all the same things. But it is funny because my my daughter, who was on the stream last night in the comments, she actually told me afterwards that she had gotten a few ads, but she thought it was because she had like left the stream and then come back, and when she came back, it showed her an ad as soon as she came back. But I don't know. Yeah, it's had premium to skip ads. Yeah, I need to get that too for myself because I don't have it currently. And then the problem is like sometimes I'm like, no, I'm not going to do it. Just kind of because I'm anyway. Uh, so why does it? Let me do a little test here. Um, when does it send the star subscription? It sends it. Oh, I wonder. Could it? So when it reconnects, it sends it. But I wonder if there's something else going on here. I should use, well, some of the stuff is hard to use a debugger for. So this should, anyway. Let me start this up again. Okay. So this is the, what was this again? M39 open cluster, which I don't think I've imaged before. And once this is kind of completed, I'm going to point it at Saturn, at not the Saturn Nebula. So actually maybe I'll do that. I'll keep the Saturn Nebula going, and then I'll have Saturn and the Saturn Nebula at once, just because why not? Okay, so let's see. Preview. Okay, so it said changing mode to preview, changing the subscription from stack to preview, and it should disconnect. And wait, did it actually work this time? Yeah, it actually worked this time. Of course it worked this time. I do wonder if it's like another one of these threading issues. But okay, so that worked. Let me fix this. So this is the non-stacked version, and I guess the reason I can tell it's the non-stacked version. Is it the non-stacked version? I can tell based on the size here. Yeah, the size is like 4 megabytes, which is the unstacked version. It's the continuous preview version. So if I go, I should be able to click. Well, and actually I'm kind of curious, how often does this update? So it was 48.9. Okay, so let me switch to stacked mode, and let's see what this does. Changing mode to stack, and it is thinking about it. I don't know why it receives so many heartbeat messages. I need to. Okay, width, size 17 bytes, say 17 bytes. It's not sending the stack. Did it? Let me look at when it changed modes. It's not. It's still in preview mode. So let me switch to, let me do it again. Changing mode to stack. But it didn't. Let me switch back to preview. Sending. So it's saying sending subscription preview. Okay. Okay. Now let me change it back. Changing mode to stack. And, but it's not. It says changing mode to stack, but then nothing. Let me look at this. So it said changing mode. So it's, this is where it is running that. And then it calls the set exposure mode. But then, this is weird. Let me restart this. It's like something strange is going on. Yeah. Anyway, coding, especially when I'm trying to live stream and figure out why it isn't working. Okay. So it should be back in stacked mode. Cool. Nice. Nice. And let me change to preview. And so it should say changing mode from stack to preview. And then it got the not a zip file because it when it switched modes, it may have already been receiving the zip file. But then it kind of, anyway, complained. And it should start updating with the preview soon. And that's another thing too. Like when it sends the update, it should like immediately show up, but it seems like it has to send a couple of them before it updates. but this doesn't look like the preview. Like the time updated, but no, that's too big. This is still the stack. So it went back to still having the issue. Changing image. Wait, why did it change it? Changing subscription from stack to preview. Sending subscription stack. These two things don't make sense because it said it changed it from stack to preview, but then it said it's sending the stack subscription. So that's the problem. But why is it doing that? Because if the two are different, then it is going to stop, which then sets exposure mode to none. But then it starts it, which then changes it to the new one. So it doesn't change the exposure mode until it's actually, you know what? Send star subscription. Do you need to add wait time? I might, actually. I might. Really what I need to do, I think what I have to do is I might have to add some locking. Because the sending of the star subscriptions, it happens in this heartbeat. Yeah. Yeah. Because the problem is when it disconnects, or when it stops, I should say, it's the stop function. It disconnects, but then it clears all these variables. But like these are not necessarily what I need to do is maybe I need to put this up. Because the problem is like each of these commands, something could be running in between them. Yeah. And so if I disconnect and then although the disconnect it turns off connected. So that I really don't need to do some of the things I'm doing here. What else does it do? Sent subscription. Is connected and sent subscription. So really, this also doesn't need to be run. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this just needs to be where it was. But why would it? Well, this is really objectionable, but I'm just going to let me think about this. What I need to do is, Well, let me try it again. Let me go to preview mode. And now it says sending star subscription preview. Like it actually took. Oh, and now it changed. Yeah, so there's some kind of shenanigans going in with the state of things, I think. Unless it's not changing it, because it says it's changing it, and then it will stop it and then start it, and it starts it with an exposure mode. Yeah, I'm thinking it's some kind of race condition or some kind of, yeah, threading problem. Oh boy. Yeah, so let me go back to the stacked view. And it went from stack to stack, but it wasn't stack. It was set to preview. That is peculiar. From stack to stack. Stack to preview. Sending subscription stack. That makes no sense. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, it did switch, but it's like it's behind or something. Maybe the logic is wrong? Because if it doesn't change, maybe I'll just... Oh, wait a second. It does a reconnect at the beginning. Ooh, it does a reconnect at the beginning. The first thing it does is reconnect, and it resends the subscription at that point. So what I need to do is I need to do what I'm doing here, change this exposure mode. Yeah. I mean, I still think there's a race condition in there, but in this case, I don't think that completely explains. I think this other problem is what's causing some of the issues. Okay. Okay, Dark Shades, thanks for joining. Have a good evening, and we'll probably do another live. I'll probably do another live stream, hopefully towards the end of this upcoming week. It looks like the weather might be okay. Okay, so we have stacked view. So if this works, I should be able to hit preview and changing to preview mode, sending subscription, sending star subscription stack. Why is it doing that? Oh, second one is finished? Oh yeah, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. Okay, so I was gonna point towards Saturn. The problem is Saturn is not a... how do I want to do this? Yeah, this is going to be tricky because it doesn't... I don't think it has the coordinates for Saturn. So let me look up Saturn. And is it not visible yet? Oh, I had paused time. pause time. Is it not? Oh, I guess Saturn isn't quite visible yet. I thought it was visible at this point, but not quite visible. Yeah. Maybe in half an hour. Well, that's too bad. So let me see what else I could image. I had made a note after 11, but that's incorrect. So I'm going to do 11:30 after 11:30. Maybe I haven't done Pac-Man Nebula in a while. Let me do that just for grins. Yeah, that should be good. And actually, I could do Triangulum at this point. Wait, did of course I'm. Triangulum maybe not, but I'll try NGC 281. Image NGC 281. I'll do half an hour just for grins. The nice thing is this, it doesn't take long to get it going. I'll leave that for a bit before so I can see the preview mode. I mean the stacked mode. Yeah, so let's go back to this. This doesn't fully sending star subscription stack. Actually, you know what? Maybe it's a timing issue too. Let's see. Preview. Sending it to preview, sending subscription preview. Okay, that was expected. Okay, so that switched to preview mode. Let me switch back to stacked mode. Changing from stack to stack. Why is it doing that? But you know what? Maybe I'm just gonna not check that it changed for now. Do I want to wait? Maybe I wait. Sleep. I'll try just sleeping half a second for now, just to try it. I mean, it's probably, maybe it is a threading issue. Go to the preview button again. Well, let me start over. So I've got it in stack mode. I'm going to switch this to live view and see what this is doing. Okay. Okay, so I've got this in preview mode. So let me change, I've got it in stack mode. Let me change to preview mode. So I changed from stack to preview. That error is expected. Mode change to preview. And starting subscription stack. That is not right. That is so not right. So it's sending it. It's setting it. But then, and then it starts it. Let me try this again. So let me look at the timing. And actually what I'm gonna do is and then okay, I just want to clear up these. Anyway, yeah, this is very frustrating. Very, very frustrating. But this is all for what do you call it, for the greater good. Once I get this sorted out, I'll commit these changes and everybody will be able to work with it. What in the world is going over here? Yeah, so, and the problem is because it's been, like, if I was having decent weather, I wouldn't be having these problems. I wouldn't necessarily have to test during a live stream. Yeah, look forward to testing it all on your devices. Yeah, yeah. Okay, so this is running. So let me go preview. So it went from stack to preview and then sending subscription stack, which makes no sense. What I need to do, and this for whatever reason did not bring up the stack. This is the preview mode that's showing. Okay, so what did I want to do? So imaging, print. Okay, so I want to change this to logging, and then yeah, the syntax unfortunately is slightly different, so I should have done it that way to begin with. Okay. Dot info. And oops. Okay. So that were those the only ones? So it also sent sending star subscription. Okay, yeah. Okay. Cool. So let's do this again. Because the reason I changed it is because it those log statements are time stamped. Yeah. No, why this one did not? I might go ahead and just restart this one since this one showed up in preview mode. I mean, it's going to mess up the schedule, but that's okay. All right, so back to this one. It's in stack mode. So now I go click on preview, and it says, well, that didn't, I missed that one. Oh, because that's in the other thing. So then this says changing the subscription, and then it disconnects, but then it still was receiving from the image receiving thread. It still received the zip file. Wait, where did I end up? Problem is, it's continuing, it's proceeding. Wait. Let me restart this. Restart this one. Okay. Then this, it ends up like squashed, which is another problem I need to fix. Okay, so we are loading this one. I wasn't planning on doing this nebula for a full hour, but that's okay. This is more for the testing purposes. Okay, so sometimes I like just doing a bunch of space here, and I will change to preview mode. Okay, so now it said it sent. Okay, so it sent the star subscription stack because it already had one in flight. And then just a little bit later, it says, okay, changing the subscription to preview. And then it continued to get something. I got an error. But then sending star subscription stack. Why did it send the star subscription stack? And what's the timestamp on that? That was only a quarter second later. It changed the subscription. Oh. Ha ha ha. Okay. Yeah. So what happens? So I think I know what is happening when it's in, and this might be a different logic issue that needs to be changed. But when you're in preview mode, you just send one command and it'll send you a series of preview images. But if you say, I want the stack, the current stack, it sends you the stack, and then it doesn't send you anything again. And so the way I implemented it to cause it to repeatedly get the stacks is once it successfully receives a stack, it immediately resends the stack. It re-requests it, I think. So let me look at this. Get stacked image. If not sent subscription. So if I get, what was it, 23. So if I get a stack, and if it's gazing, it disconnects here. And then it reconnects, which sends the star subscription. So is that what's causing it? Because this happened within, so it changed the subscription, and then at 34,775, and then it sent the subscription a quarter of a second later. I think that might be part of the, but that still doesn't explain it. Oh. No. If is gazing. And let me see. And if self.exposure mode is stack. Do I want to do that? Is that what I want to do? And I still think there's some threading issues that need to be resolved, but I don't know for sure. If I don't make any progress on this in a little bit, I might just call it a night. It's just unfortunate because like a few times I've had like several clear nights in a row, and I didn't live stream every night. Like I did a live stream on a couple nights, and then I had another night where it was clear and I ended up working on this, so I wasn't like, so I was able to make some progress without having yeah, whatever is going on here. This is looking nice. This is always very satisfying. It shows the results fairly quickly. So let me go. So let me open up. Okay. So now sending star subscription. So that was already in flight. That was ready to go. Then it's changing mode to preview at 7.1. And then disconnected, but then sending star subscription preview, which is actually correct. And so that worked. So this should keep working. So let me change it back to stack and see what happens there. Okay, changing subscription from stack to stack. What? That does not seem right. Why is it doing stack to stack? And then it sent the star subscription stack, which is correct. And now it's showing the stack. But why did it say it sent it from stack to stack? So let me go change back to preview. Preview. Okay, changing from stack to preview. Disconnect, sending star subscription stack. But when did that happen? That happened 219. But that happened like 2 seconds later. That should not. Like, what did it do? Why did it do that? Because it said change the stack, the subscription from stack to preview. But then it said it was set to stack. And so, and why is it failing? Anyway, well, it's not quite going the way. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This is just kind of not working the way I would have I want it to work. So I may have to I may call it a night then. I mean, like I was saying at the beginning of the stream, I have to get up at a sensible hour tomorrow. So thanks for joining. I'm going to leave it at that. Let me see when the next clear skies we have. Um, see, it's nice and clear, but oh, yeah, yeah, it looks like. I mean, this is kind of iffy. I might be able to do some development with those kind of conditions, but not the kind of conditions I want to do a live stream. But yeah, it's looking pretty lackluster for. I mean, maybe Thursday, because sometimes this will end up like it looks bad now, but it could end up being better. But it might be a few days. So, um, although I think I might have to talk to Seiko about doing a remote observing session. Um, but in the meantime, thanks for joining, and hopefully I'll get the bugs on this worked out and get this committed so people will be able to test things out. But in the meantime, thanks for joining, and I hope you all have a good evening. And clear skies, of course. Clearer skies than me. Thanks. Good night. Is the button not working?